Hi, thank you for joining me. My name is Liz and this is my channel Movement with Liz. Heaps of different options for you. So whatever kind of movement you like, maybe you're like me and you just love to move your body in lots of different ways. There's going to be something here for you. You may love yoga, you may love strength training, you may love high intensity interval training. It is all here. So hit the like, hit the subscribe button so you get notified when I release a new video, which is once a week. So today we're going to combine two of my favorite things to do, and that is mobility and Yin Yoga. So I could do everything all in one, but the mobility and the Yin Yoga we're going to combine today. I'm going to be using a block for some of the last poses that we're going to be holding. If you don't have a block, a big book, a pillow, or even a yoga bolster will be perfect. And you may need it throughout the practice as we do hold some of the shapes. I won't be using one though until the very end. So we're going to start the practice with a really nice mobility movement for the spine and for the lower body, sort of the pelvis region and lower back especially, called wag tail. So we're going to do that for a minute, and then we're going to come down into a wide-legged child's pose for 3 minutes. So to begin, coming onto the hands and knees, bring the knees together, gently just lift the feet off the floor. So we're going to start to just wag literally wag your tail from side to side. Try and keep the upper body steady so you're not kind of moving around like that. It's just the lower part of the body. Light little core brace, and then you can experiment. I've started the timer now. Experiment with going between flexion and extension of the spine. So flexion, I would be rounding my back. The hips would be coming down towards the floor. And then extension, you'd be pressing the hips up towards the ceiling. So you can just even move between those two positions if that feels good, or find the one that feels best for you. And just a gentle little side to side movement. Got about 15 seconds left. As we go into child pose, I'm going to let you kind of base in the shape. I'm not going to say too much throughout the shape. So breathing nice and smoothly. Now bringing your knees wide, pressing the hips back. This is where you may need some form of cushioning underneath the forehead, or even resting your forehead down towards your fists. So the hips are going to press back. Reaching the arms out if that feels okay for the shoulders. And then letting your head rest just where it feels comfortable, maybe on the forehead, maybe it's on a block or a cushion. And just start to settle into the pose or into the shape. Find a nice, smooth rhythm of your breath. Really start to pay attention to what's happening in your inner domain. The mind might be really busy. It's totally normal, part of being human. If that's the case, see if you can give the mind something to focus on. That may be your breath, it may be the body and the sensations that you can feel from the shape. So where you feel that in your body, how strongly it feels. And if you notice the mind wandering, just notice it and then bring it back to the breath and the body. And just take one more breath in and out. Walk your hands back towards the knees, slowly lift up. And taking your time as you come out of the shape. Just take a little moment and feel into what's happening in your body now. So lots happening while we hold the shape and lots happening as we move out of the shape. So we're going to move on to a opening through the front of the hip. So we're going to go into some mobility through the hips, and then we're going to hold into dragon. So you're going to start bringing your right foot forward. So just to begin with, we'll stay lifted. So obviously Yin Yoga, it's a very passive practice. So we're adding a lot of movement and activeness before we go into the hold. Maybe it's a no-no for Yin. I don't think that it would be. The only thing I could think of is that you generally want to go into your first, that first kind of line of pull, or that first line of tension that you feel in Yin, and that's where you stop. By doing the mobility first, we're possibly increasing that, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. But if you think otherwise, I would love to know. So 1 minute, we're going to be shifting forward and shifting back out of there, the front of the left hip. So keeping the spine tall. If you need to, you can bring the right foot out a little bit wider. And that can just help with a little bit of balance. Think about tucking the pelvis under so the sacrum's coming down towards the floor. And just moving in and out. You may even need some cushioning underneath that knee. If you do, please add some. So just gently going into your range of motion and then pressing through that front foot as you come back up. Okay, we've got about 15 more seconds. And then we will be holding into dragon. I think it may be one of my not favorite Yin Yoga shapes. Love-hate relationship. Okay, coming on down. And again, you may need some blocks or some support underneath the hands. Roll the shoulders down, lift the chest. And then think about sinking the hips down towards the floor. So we've gone from being active to now being as passive as we can. So we need a little bit of activeness from the upper body here to hold ourselves tall. But think about letting the lower body relax as much as you can. breathing nice and smoothly. Having that focus in the body. So where do you feel it? What do you feel? And Yin Yoga is a really nice opportunity just to experience. You don't have to make up any story about why the sensation's there. It's just this really nice time for yourself to stop and slow down. Spend some time with yourself, connecting into your body. About 30 seconds left. Take one more breath in and out. And very slowly make your way out of the shape. Take any kind of movement here that you feel you need. Can be really nice. Even coming into a plank position can just be nice to release that tension from the front side of the body. Maybe a downward facing dog feels good. Maybe stillness is what you need, just to come and sit. Hello, Aria. I'm going to skin my spike. So what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Isn't that true? Yeah. So I'm going to be bringing our left leg forward. Excuse. Oh, this is going to get awkward. Left leg forward, and we'll come into that mobility for the front of the right hip. Here comes Daisy. Daisy. So just shifting forward again, find that position, tucking the pelvis under. And it's not about forcing it. We're never forcing the body into a position or a movement that doesn't feel right. Just kind of going as far as feels okay. You might feel a bit of a stretch and then pressing back out through the front foot. Getting ready, coming down into dragon. So setting yourself up, know that it may feel different to the first side. It may have to look different as well. So if you need to take another option, maybe you need support underneath this knee. So finding your edge, and that may have changed slightly from doing the mobility first. I don't know if you just heard my stomach rumble. So it means that the body's starting to relax and find that I am in a relaxed state. Sometimes my stomach does rumble. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm hungry or you're hungry. Think nice and smooth with the breath. And experience this side completely different from the other side. So no kind of expectations on what you should be feeling. Just feel what you're feeling. And just notice it, acknowledge it. Don't have to do anything about it. Keep on pressing down through the palms, or maybe you're up on the fists. Just keeping the arms long, keeping the shoulders down. Focusing on relaxing through the lower body, the hips sinking down. Take a couple more breaths. And then very slowly press yourself up out of the shape. Any kind of movement that feels good. It's always quite an intense shape for me. I don't know about you. Let me know in the comments if it's a love-hate relationship, or maybe you just love it, maybe you hate it. So we're going to make our way down onto our backs now. We will be needing our blocks in a moment. So just laying down, hug the knees in towards your chest. So instead of timing this one, I'm going to count just for reps for each side. So you're going to keep hugging the right knee in, and we're going to circle our left knee out. We're going to let the foot touch down and then bring it back up the center. So I'm going to do 10 in one direction, and then we'll reverse it. So the foot will come down and we'll circle it back up and around. So 10 in each direction. We'll do, starting with circling the left knee first. So circle it out, touch the foot down, bring the knee back up. See if you can let the shoulders relax. Find a nice smooth rhythm of breath. And make the circle, it's kind of like a half circle, as big or as small as you need it to be. We've got 4 more in this direction. This is possibly one of my favorite mobility exercises. Feels really nice. Okay, that was 10 in that direction. Let's change directions. The foot comes down, knee comes out, up and around. Keep squeezing the right knee in towards the chest. And let's do a couple more. And then we'll take that to the other side. So the left knee will squeeze in, the right knee is going to come out and around, let the foot touch down. Oh, here's some clicks and some clacks. I know one side definitely feels different to the other side for me. It may be very much the same for you. Got two more in this direction, and then we'll swap directions. Foot comes down, knee comes out, up and around. Let's do a couple more. Whew. Okay, and we're going to come into a supported bridge shape. So lifting the hips, grab your block, placing it underneath your hips. Kind of just rest, sort of just, I generally have the sacrum, so that flat bony part between the pelvis connected to the block. Find the spot that feels best for you. So again, we're going to be thinking about opening up through the front side of the body. So we're going to we'll hug the right knee in, since we did hug the right knee in the first time when we did the mobility. And then the left leg's going to go out long. Now, if this is too much for you, you can completely remove the block from underneath you and do this on the floor. If you want more, you could even flip the block up and have it on its second level, which would create quite a bit more extension into the spine and would intensify the feeling or the tension through the front of the hip. So we'll just hold here and breathe. We're not going to hold this one for the 3 minutes. And connecting into the breathing, feeling into the body. Close the eyes down if that feels okay. And again, it's letting everything relax. So there's a little bit of effort from the upper bodies, gently pulling the right knee in. Don't hunch the shoulders up. Just let them sink down and just kind of let gravity do its thing. Take one more breath in and out. And then slowly hug the left knee in. You may even want to bring both feet to the floor for a moment. We're going to go straight into the other side. So left knee's hugging in, right leg goes out long. Just keeping the mind focused. Don't worry about why one side feels different for now. You need to figure that out later. As you're breathing out, see if you can relax just a little bit more. then slowly release, maybe squeeze the knees in for a moment. We're going to take Waterfall just for a little moment before we close off the practice. So the feet go up towards the ceiling. And it should kind of almost feel effortless to hold them up. It should just kind of, looks like they just float there in space. It's really nice for your lymphatic system. Pretty important system in the body. We want that nice flow, kind of moving around our body, coming down and then making sure it can come back up. And clear out toxins, anything that shouldn't be there or doesn't need to be there. This is the ability to then have fresh, new energy, feel good, body and mind. And slowly bending through the knees, bring the feet back to the floor, lifting the hips, release the block or support from underneath your back or hips. And then laying out nice and flat. Maybe you need some support under the knees. Let's take a little moment here to rest. Let the practice integrate into your whole system. And take a deep breath in, full breath out. Maybe take a nice big stretch. Take your time coming up to a seated position. Finding a comfortable seat, lengthening up through your spine. You can bring the palms together at the heart. Just closing the eyes down. Take a moment and thank yourself for making the time to be here. And I'd like to thank you for joining me in this practice. I hope you enjoyed it. Love to know what you thought. Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.